Hello everyone, today I will be teaching you how to draw with a dip pen today. Alright, now let's get in it. Alright, so to start off with all of this, let me first go ahead and show you the basics of a dip pen. Let's get all this out the way first. We are going to be needing this paper for later as it's my cardstock that I used before. Anyways, let's push this off. Get our training piece of paper, as I'll say. And I reckon that we should also as well just close this up, probably put it out the way now. Yeah, let's do that. And yeah, so, well, let me show you how this works, alright? So, the first thing to keep in mind while with this as well, my hand's going to be spinning around a lot because I had some script, but first of all with a dip pen is that there's no ink cartridge like pens. You have to first of all get your own ink like this because you dip it. So here you go. Let's open it. Alright, now that we got it open, you might want to keep it off to the side just in case it spills. You gotta dip your pen right. You gotta dip it and shake off the excess ink. I do shake mine off very violently, so that's always very fun. Anyways, it all collects in this little reservoir right here. Some have bigger ones, some have smaller ones. The Tachikawa pen nib I'm using right there is a smaller one. Anyways, the thing to note about Tachikawa, or just any dip pen nib, is that they all can bend the metal that they have in order to make longer and bigger strokes. I drew a simple little cube. If you push down harder, like with that last one, then you can get bigger strokes, while with those smaller ones, it applies less pressure. Let's get a close-up on this, right? So, that's a thicker stroke for you right there. Of course, though, the thicker strokes, you not want to use as much. There's the thinner ones that are the ones I like to use a lot in my art. It just looks really nice. The lighter, just keep a footnote that when you apply pressure to a dip pen's nib, it will get thicker lines. This is just me going off the cuff with it right here. A little bit of cross-hatching. Yeah, I didn't have a script for this, so just keep that in mind. I believe that now I'm also going to start discussing some more just with drawing with it. Always a fun little thing to discuss. Now, before we end up actually getting into it, I should go and explain that pen nibs, you can interchange them for different ones. Like, I have multiple ones from the Tachikawa, so I'll show you them right here, right now. To start off, honest to God, I don't know which one this one is. It has a bigger bowl connected to it. The reservoir is a bowl shape, which allows it to collect more ink. And it even has a little step so it can sprout the ink more. It's a fine line. It's not supposed to be very fine like the Tachikawa. It's very beginner friendly due to how stiff it is. And it's not like the G pen I recently ordered, which has a lot more flexible tippage. Anyways, moving on my favorite, the Tachikawa. It has very thin pen nib. It works very well for what I do. It produces nice results, but it's not going to give you a thicker line as easy without damaging the nib and pressing down on it too hard. That's another note about pen nibs, is that you don't want to press down too hard because you'll damage the nib and you won't be able to use it. Moving on, I also don't know what this one's called. I have a bunch of miscellaneous ones. It's kind of like a G pen, but not as good. There's not really much else I can say about it. This is similar to the first one. I think it just is the first one, but bigger. It's not a fine line, it's medium line. That's the only difference I really got for you, Chief. Anyways, let's get in this. So you'll see first right here, I'm doodling. It's just a typical doodle, you know? Nothing special, nothing different. It's really fast. It can be done in 34 seconds. The person who I decided to draw, I thought would just kind of just got back into reading JoJo again, part 8. So I decided to draw the main antagonist stand, which is Wonder of You, the glitch effect that makes it more apparent. Anyways, so now that we have that done, also you not want the sketch as detailed as I have it here. I just have it like this for a nice little show. If you follow my Instagram, you'll know that. Now, see, before you start, you also need this tool right here. It's called a brush pen. because obviously you're not going to get all the black space of your ink, and if you use too much, you can damage your paper. There are some circumstances where you'll use it, but other circumstances you'll need the brush pen. It's just a really nice tool. Anyways, we're on to this. So, with the dip pen, you'll see that with the cardstock, it's actually harder to draw with because of how absorbent it is. It just sucks the ink right out of it, which is kind of chaotic. But anyways, while you pay attention to this drawing, you'll see just how I go along with it. You gotta have a kind of a flow with the dip pen, you know? If you're too slow with it, you'll actually let more ink out as you go. You need to be confident with your strokes. And I don't know if I wasn't as confident as I needed to be or not, or if it was just a problem with the paper, but it turned out a lot more poorly than I wanted it to. Though I still am fine with the result, as you all saw. Just a note, I also forgot to record the ending here, so that's gonna be fun. The Tachikawa is used for thinner lines normally, which is why I'm using it for cross-hatching and shadows. It just gives it a nice little finish that you wouldn't get with any other dip normally, maybe with like a G pen, but it's just a really nice liner. I did switch liners eventually. I switched back eventually, but just note that I didn't have a lot of fun with it. I think I already switched back to the Tachikawa now. You'll be able to tell. Tachikawa just is a nice pen nib to use. When you apply pressure, this is like with like those folds right there, you can with one stroke produce it instead of having to artificially ink it. I might just teach y'all how to dip with everything, or how to ink with everything soon, because that was a video I was gonna do a while back. But first of all, my style improved, so that's cool. And second of all, I don't have any more liners. Sorry. Yeah, but you can see right here, I'm filling in the black spaces with that brush pen I was mentioning, and it is a very useful tool to fill those in really quickly and to get those brush effects. Wonder Review's clothes are really dark during the story arc, so that's why it is going to be very useful for that. Mine sadly died, so I have to resort to using a brush with ink on it, which you'll see in the upcoming video. Yeah, that's advertisement for the next video. Anyways, yeah. As it goes along, it just kind of was a fun little thing to do. It's a little tedious, admittedly, to do it like this a lot, but just keep in mind as well, when you're inking with a dip pen, you want to go from left to right, or right to left, depending on your hand dominance. Remember, you start opposite of your hand dominance. I don't know what I was doing here. I must have been like, I don't know, being stupid. I was on a call with my friends, so that's a problem already. Also, just another note about that little spillage right there. Dip pens do have a tendency to drip, so that's why you shake it off before you start, because if you don't, then you're gonna get a little drip like that and possibly ruin an artwork like I've done in the past multiple times. It's not a cool thing, by the way. Yeah. As this all keeps on going, the way I normally do it is actually kind of like how you do with a lawnmower when you work with the shadows. I fill in a black space where I can put the brush to start, and then I go out from there, which is always a very nice thing to have on with you, is that, because it just helps speed up the process. Anyways, we've hit the part of the video I was kind of fretting, and that's that, yeah, I didn't finish the ending of recording this. My phone died. I was on a tight schedule that day, and I didn't feel like stopping, so I just finished it. This is the finished result right here of Wonder Review. I'm sorry I couldn't really give you much else for this video, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of disappointed with this one. Everything just felt a little bit too fast, you know? It all seemed a little bit busted. I don't think I was able to keep up to standard as I should have. So again, I'd just like to formally apologize to everyone about that, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.